UFC 302 is this weekend, and we're going to give you guys our predictions. At this point, we just spoil the fights, but you guys like our predictions, so we're going to go ahead and do it.
Yeah, we got the last one right, but we both didn't think we got it right, but we still got it right, so we're still undefeated.
Yep, so we're going to start off with the co-main event, which is Sean Strickland versus Paulo Costa. Sean Strickland recently lost a very close fight with Rios du Plessis. Actually surprised me how well he did in that fight. He also looked like he was in way better shape. He wasn't fat for that fight. He was actually muscular, which is great for Sean Strickland because he's going up against a super muscular guy in Paulo Costa who surprised a lot of people with a good showing against Robert Whittaker. Robert Whittaker actually thinks Paulo Costa is going to win, which actually is like, to me, I was like, man, maybe I should pick Paulo Costa. But my choice for this fight is going to be Sean Strickland.
My choice will be Sean Strickland as well. It's hard not to pick Sean Strickland because his last two performances have been very impressive. So obviously we had the Adesanya-Sean Strickland fight, which Sean Strickland came in on short notice. I mean, like you were saying before, Sean Strickland looked pretty muscular in his last fight, but for the Adesanya fight, he came in a little bit chubby. And then he fought Rios du Plessis, who people don't know this because his striking looks so sloppy, but he actually has a kickboxing background and was just firing that jab on him. And with the stances being matched, Paulo Costa and Sean Strickland will have the jab open. And Sean Strickland's defense is just too solid at this point, and I don't see how Paulo Costa is going to beat him.
Yeah, Whittaker was using the jab very well against Costa. I believe it's a 3-round fight, correct? Or is it 5? So I was right, it is a 3-round fight, which does favor Paulo Costa, but I still think Sean Strickland will get it done. I think Paulo Costa has the edge with his kicks. If he's able to land leg kicks with Sean Strickland's boxing stance, I think he gives him a shot, but I just don't see Costa winning this fight. I think Sean Strickland's at his peak. I think he's going to remind a lot of people why he could be the champion if there was a couple different judges. I'm not saying I believe he won that fight, but I mean, you know, with close decisions like that, it could have gone either way. It was a split decision. And Paulo Costa, I mean, he did look really good in the Whittaker fight, but I honestly would have even picked Sean Strickland at this moment to beat Robert Whittaker.
Yeah, Sean Strickland, I mean, his boxing is just incredible. And, you know, I think Paulo Costa, if anything, is probably one of the worst matchups for Sean Strickland. We saw with Jared Cannonier and with Rios du Plessis, the way that you beat Sean Strickland is you back him up, and Paulo Costa seems like the kind of guy that will march him down. I mean, he marched down Yoel Romero, so Paulo Costa definitely has that in his tool belt.
Yeah, but I don't see Paulo Costa knocking out Strickland. I could see a very similar scenario to the Costa versus Whittaker fight, which is maybe Costa can steal a round in there, probably round 1, but I think Strickland over time will eventually get to him. He's going to land that jab. I think Strickland right now is at the peak of his prime. I don't think Costa's past his prime. I really do favor Strickland. If he can turn on the pace, I think we might see a slow Strickland in the first round, but you know, after 2-3 rounds, he's going to up at the pace, and he's going to beat Costa.
Yeah, the Paulo Costa versus Whittaker fight, my issue with Costa is, although he looked very impressive, he seemed to only really have that jab and seemed very reluctant to throw that right hand. And, you know, once Whittaker seemed to get that jab and get the timing on that jab, he just started countering him consistently and was landing the far more effective shots.
Yeah, I rate Strickland a lot right now. There's no reason not to. I'm picking Sean Strickland by decision in this fight.
Yeah, so now on to the main event, which I like to say is Duncan Perrier versus Isaac Makhachev.
Yep.
And I have Duncan Perrier. No, I'm kidding. I have Isaac Makhachev.
Yep. And I also have Isaac Makhachev as well. Isaac Makhachev right now is like a 6-1 favorite, which is massive. I think that's incredibly high. I mean, that's close to Adesanya Strickland territory, but you can kind of see it. If Duncan Perrier or Dustin Poirier is getting out-grappled by a staph infection Benoit Saint Denis, who's not even a grappler, what is he going to do against Makhachev? Makhachev is going to get him. He's going to take him down. I think he's very sound defensively. If Oliveira's not going to catch him, I don't think Poirier will.
Yeah, I think Makhachev has to be obviously one of the best fighters in the UFC. Although I feel like his title defenses weren't great. I mean, he fought a featherweight twice and one time on 11 days' notice. He's better than Khabib, and I don't know why some people don't say he's better than Khabib. He's Khabib with the grappling, and then he actually has very solid striking.
Yeah,
the reason why I'm picking Isaac Makhachev is because I just don't think Duncan Perrier is on his level at all. It's kind of like the Chito Vera versus Sean O'Malley fight. You give someone a title shot that they don't deserve, which is very strange how Poirier got the title shot because Oliveira and Gaethje were booked for fights, but why would they book them for fights if they knew that Makhachev would be ready in June? Just very strange. I mean, going back to that, Oliveira finished Duncan Poirier. Gaethje knocked out Duncan Poirier. Is this a guy that doesn't really deserve to be there? He's been shown twice to not be quite at that level, so I just don't see how Duncan Poirier can win this one.
Makhachev is one of the best pound-for-pound fighters right now. Poirier is on a decline. He did deserve the title shot. We saw what happened last time, which was Vera and O'Malley. Vera got absolutely destroyed. Colby got destroyed. When they don't deserve the title shot, we end up getting these very lopsided fights. However, we all know that Makhachev's probably going to win this fight. He's a better fighter, very sound defensively, but Poirier does have a couple areas where he can win. One being he's very good against southpaws. That's why he beat McGregor twice. Then he knocked out Benoit Saint-Denis because his right hook is there. A lot of Poirier's best weapons are against southpaws, so he has a chance with that. And if he were to joke about the guillotine, low-key, that might be one of his only shots to win because you told me about that. Apparently he gets it all the time in training.
Yeah. Poirier said he gets it all the time in training. Like, someone asked him about it. He goes, I swear I always get that in training. Maybe he can finally get it once. But, although Duncan Poirier does have that Khabib training camp, that definitely does help because it is somewhat of a similar matchup. Obviously, Makhachev has the striking and he is southpaw.
You're not seeing Khabib knocking out a striker with a head kick.
Yeah, you're definitely not saying that. But Poirier struggled with Michael Chandler wrestling, getting backed up consistently. Gaethje had no issues with that, and Gaethje got out-grappled by Oliveira and Khabib. And then, like you said, couldn't get that Benoit Saint-Denis, a staph infection Benoit Saint-Denis off of him. And, I thought he was losing the fight, but, Benoit Saint-Denis came in a little reckless and got cracked, and so he ended up winning that fight. But I thought that Benoit Saint-Denis was the better fighter.
From recent fights with Poirier, I don't believe in his ability to get up off the ground. He has good abilities, at least not to get submitted, but I think with Makhachev, I think that might be a different story because, it's not a Benoit Saint-Denis on you. But, with Chandler controlled him for a round, and then with Khabib, he did the same thing with Poirier. Poirier almost cracked him a couple times, but Islam is a better striker, I think, by a distance over Khabib, so he's going to struggle to land on him. I mean, I think it's going to need a good game plan from Poirier. Maybe Poirier can give Makhachev leg kicks, but I compare Makhachev, his fight with Oliveira versus Poirier's fight with Makhachev in the future. If Poirier, or with Oliveira, he's not afraid of the takedown. Poirier is going to be shitting his pants for the takedown, and that's going to affect how he strikes. And if Oliveira couldn't land on him, and Oliveira got discouraged, you couldn't land on him, I think Poirier's going to have to deal with the same thing, and then you combine with the fact that he's not good on the ground.
Yeah, you made a good point saying that you don't trust Poirier's ability to get back up. We were actually having this discussion earlier. When it comes to a fighter versus grappler matchup, it's not just takedown defense, but being able to get back up. We were talking about the Leon Edwards versus Covington fight, and Leon Edwards versus Usman was probably a better fight to look at because that one was actually competitive. When Leon Edwards was taken down, he was able to get back up, and Poirier, I don't trust his takedown defense, and I definitely don't trust his ability to get back up. Don't see how he beats Isaac Makhachev.
Yeah, and Poirier, his best shot was against Oliveira, and honestly, at this point, I don't see him winning. Makhachev, I think, will submit him in the third round. It wouldn't surprise me if he gets a TKO on the ground either, but it's going to be all Isaac Makhachev.